Good day or good evening, whatever time it is at the time you're watching this video. Hey y'all, I'm going to go ahead and start this reading out with some fun cards today. These are the Dumpster Fire Oracle cards. They're super cute. Just felt like lightening up this situation here because Wednesday's reading was a doozy. And I do apologize, you guys, but you know what? Sometimes Spirit brings out the hard hitters, and Spirit says, you have to post that. And I'm like, well, shit. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and start out with a couple of these and see where we're going for today's message. Okay, thank you. What do we got here? Cool, we've got Daring Dragon. Take the risk. Fortune favors fire breathers. Bold moves unlock treasures, and it's time to claim yours. Awesome. Dragon energy. I love it. And then we have Ghost of Good Advice. Release fear. Boo! The past isn't here to haunt you. Everything's a lesson. No need to be scared of wisdom. This is kind of reminding me of a recent reading. It was something about taking a risk and reaping a big reward for it. So this might be a continuation of that, but you never know. Dragons are definitely a very strong energy that you work with, is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like you got super excited when you saw that card. This card often reminds me of the Fool in the Tarot. Probably because of the cliffside here and how the dragon is like swinging from this tree swing and about to take the plunge. You know what I mean? I'm going to go a little bit out on a limb here. Pun intended. But putting these two together, if we want to take this one step further and maybe dig a little bit deeper into these cards, the fact that this one is talking about the past that is not here to haunt you, and the fact that this one is talking about how it's time to claim something that is yours, I feel like you have been doing some past life work and you've discovered some things along the way that you are going to be reclaiming. You're going to be calling things back to you that were lost in past lives. I feel like you have delved so much into exploring your past lives. It's almost feeling like you've reached a point where you can kind of pinpoint each and every purpose and lesson that you have gained from all of your past life incarnations. These little like golden nuggets of wisdom and an understanding as to why you came into being each and every time. But I also have that feeling that you've also discovered a lot of things that were lost along the way as well. And that's not necessarily just pertaining to like the loss of knowledge because of amnesia every time you're born into the physical. I'm talking about like actual items. I'm like seeing a treasure trove of things that were like recovered in the astrals. And it's almost like you're trying to figure out a way to bring them into the material somehow. if that makes sense. And it's something that's definitely going to take like a bold move on your part. It could be why too. I just realized that card says unlocking treasures. And that's kind of the vibe. Dragons are known for having their cave, their, treasure inside of caves and sitting atop. So, oh shit, look at that. The Fool. See? I just said this card reminds me of the Fool in Tarot. There we go. And the Fool is all about taking that leap of faith, taking the risks and knowing that the risks being taken have the potential to bring in quite the rewards. Spirit's really been trying to push this one out. We've got 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so you are collaborating with others in this regard as well. Possibly seeking higher counsel with how you are materializing these things. Knight of Pentacles. This has been kind of a slow process. But there's that vibe of like slowly cultivating things over a period of time, which could pertain to possibly doing that throughout each and every one of your incarnations as well. Perhaps you have woken up, disregarded the amnesia in each of these lifetimes, and every time you wake up, you realize your task. It's like you're trying to bring something into the future from the past, if that makes sense. And we have the Tower and the 7 of Cups. For some reason with this Tower card, I'm getting the vibe of each and every one of these past incarnations ending abruptly. And kind of like a collapse happening before it was supposed to happen. And this ended up causing a lot of confusion over time with the 7 of Cups coming out. These like abrupt endings. It's like you're showing me this. It's almost, you're keeping it comedy, like you're keeping it comical, but it's like a serious thing, but you're being funny about it. You're like, dude, yeah, like every time I'd reach my prime, I'd get squashed. And it would cause a lot of confusion when it happened. And you always had multiple different kind of options as to your reincarnation as well, what I'm hearing. You had the choice to come back as whatever you really wanted to be honest. Like you could come back as a tree, for instance, if you wanted to. Or like if you wanted it to be real quick, you could come back as like a blade of grass or whatever. But like at this time, right now, you have decided to come back as a human in the 3D reality on this planet that we call Earth. And it's for a very specific reason, is what I'm hearing. This may be the lifetime, the future tense of what you were trying to bring with you all this time. This is very interesting. You're working on releasing the fear too of this happening again, because you're reaching your prime once again in this lifetime, is what I'm hearing. And currently, you are working on this. You're working on releasing the fear of this happening. There's something about the scientists that have gone missing within these last couple years as well that's really got you like on edge. So perhaps you work in some of these fields or have something to do very close to. And it's almost like you can kind of see where this kind of like tower moment can happen, and you are doing the best that you can do to kind of prevent it, I guess, is the best way I can translate what you're telling me here. You are very telepathic. Your telepathic communication is coming through very strongly. And it's almost as if you speak an entirely different, like, galactic language, because I am having a little bit of a hard time. Like, I understand it in my mentee, but it's hard to put it into, English words to explain. And to me, that is highly telepathic communication there, because it's a completely different structure of language. It's more of like seeing rather than talking. It's very hard to explain. But you are taking measures to kind of like dodge bullets almost. I hate to use that terminology, but like dodging these towers that are like being foretold. Maybe that's part of the collaboration too. Working with your guides, working with, I'm hearing the Galactic Council as well. It's like you have a whole team that is not necessarily in the physical that you are working with very, very strongly and very, very closely with. But nonetheless, you are getting ready to take a big risk here. There's a big risk that you are getting ready to take. And you definitely have the support. You have the backing. You might be here in the physical doing all the chiseling, doing all the, constructing of it, but you've got your team members in the unseen who have your back in this regard for sure. And this cat's face is cracking me up, bro, because this is exactly like how you're explaining your vibe, your feeling. It's like, man, this took me a long time, bro. This took me a long time. That's all I hear. This took me a really long time. I'm at my prime, and that rhymes. All right. I'm at my prime, and I don't want this to be the time. You know what I mean? Very interesting. But I want to know more about this risk that you're taking, or if maybe you don't want that out there. Oh, it's something that's got you. See, there's that worry. Like you are working on trying to release this, but it is something that like really keeps you up at night. It's got you worried. It's giving you anxiety. It's something that you just like continuously think about, especially during the night. I'm hearing, especially during the night. We've got death, yeah. Four of Pentacles. Death and Four of Pentacles. The Death card's all about transformational energy, right? It's about an ending, it's about a beginning. And it's about like the phoenix rising from the ashes, like the transformation. And I just heard the Transformers are stable. The Transformers are stable because Four of Pentacles is all about stability. So that might just be something coming through just for you. Ain't nobody else gonna understand what that means, right? I know I don't. I'm just translating here. The Transformers are stable. Interesting. We got this one poking out too. What's this one? Page of Pentacles. And now I'm being given the vision once again of that treasure trove that's inside the cave. And there's a portal opening up. It's very dark in there, but like all of this treasure is very shiny, very glistening, very, very dragon pile-esque. But I can see like a portal doorway opening in the side of the cave. And I can see I'm not sure if it's you. It's probably you because it's your cave, but I could see you walking through the portal with and like grabbing some things and then leaving back out the portal. So maybe that's something that you're working on currently. And I don't really want to say too much more because I don't know if that's all right to share. But I mean, obviously it's coming through, but I'm being told to leave it there. So I'm going to leave that there. Just leave that there. But yeah, the one thing that you're working on right now is you know that you have reached your prime in this lifetime, whatever that means to you. And things are definitely stabilizing here. Things are stabilizing. You do have a little bit of worry about the tower, the possible tower that seems to show up every single lifetime for you almost. But I'm getting a good vibe off of this though. It's like you're being asked to release that fear because that's not going to happen. Because all the lessons from before have been learned and you're applying them, and you're applying them to the point where it's very stable. You know? I feel like you know how to prevent things from happening that happened to you in the past lives, but I'm hearing that these towers have been caused by the same energy, lifetime after lifetime. We might be talking about dark forces, we might be talking in that regard. And over time, they have gotten smarter and smarter and smarter too. And so that's how they were able to, like, abruptly shock you into the afterlife once again. And this is what you are stuck up at night contemplating about. But all I keep hearing is to release that. Because that's what's going to make the slip up happen. The more you focus on it, the more you're going to end up bringing it into materialization. And so this is definitely a key that you're looking for in releasing this kind of like fear over this happening again. Because it is true, you know, the more you focus on something, the more chances there is of it happening just because of you focusing on it. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that like you want it to happen, but you're giving it energy regardless because you're constantly thinking about it. We have 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, dude. So I really feel like you're good, bro. You're good, bro. You're good, bro. Everything's gonna be all right. I really truly feel that for you. But wow, what an interesting energy this ended up being. I really appreciate you showing up here, energetically speaking, and communicating with me and with spirit, of course. But I'm going to go ahead and just leave this one here. I think that I have said enough. And I don't want to get into any kind of sticky situation by saying much more at this point. But this was super cool. And I wish you all the best. I really do. I want to thank each and every one of you on this channel for allowing the space for messages like this to come through. Truly appreciate each and every one of you here. And until next time, we love you. Bye.